Hey yo, what's up? Um, I am going to try and talk for a while about stuff and see if the camera holds out. I'm going to try and talk about I'm going to try and lay out a oh boy, this is going to sound fine. I'll just say it. This is going to be a kind of a general theory. I think I've said it before in another video I posted, but I'll say it again. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. Maybe it got non-recorded when I recorded it, and it actually didn't get recorded. But whatever. This is what I was kind of thinking. Some some thoughts. Uh, See if I can hit them all. Fuck. I don't like doing it without the points on there. Um, so this is going to be a lot of jumping around, I think. Um, a minute, 2 minutes in, I haven't said anything. Well, they talk about immigration, and I think immigration. Okay, so this is me trying to solve everything. This is what I would do if I were a dictator. All right, and I could have unilateral control over everything in the country, basically the world. But let's just assume that the country is the world. The U.S. is the world for a minute. Um, this is what I think would help the country as a kind of a first start, and then you'd have to go from there. All of this together. So people don't like illegal border crossings. I think we need more immigrants in the country, so we're going to need the immigration policies that were going on 100 years ago or something like that. We need a lot more immigrants in the country. Um, so a lot looser immigration laws, so that not necessarily looser, just let people come in and more border whatevers at the Mexican border, and grant people visas and make sure that you record their names and you give them visa cards and everything, and everybody is given IDs and everything, so we know who everybody is, and they're not illegal unknowns and all of this shit. And so when they're in the country and maybe they get pulled over or stopped or whatever, they actually have some identification that's legal, and they don't have to worry about being, you know, about not talking to the cops or any kind of authority or anything like that. So they're fine. And, this whole they took my job or whatever, we don't need to worry about that. And, I'll, this is ongoing. All of these points will feed into each other. And we're going to use people are worrying about jobs. Well, we have a housing crisis. We're going to build more houses now. We're not just going to build houses because houses are, single family homes are, they're great, but they're not great at the same time because we need more apartments. I'm in an apartment right now, and we need a lot more apartments than we need single family houses. I think in every state, region, maybe even municipality, we need to build more apartments and houses. And so we need to get that done. And, there's a lot of ways to get those done. Start new companies if you want to. But however you can get that done, I'm sure. Once the country makes a decision to do that, there's a lot of ways we can make that. I mean, I may not be explaining it well, but there's a lot of templates out there already. Everybody, I mean, there's a lot of construction and architecture firms out there that know how to make houses in every area with every environment and every, if the ground is, if the ground has solid bedrock or like clay or this or that, if it's dry, it's wet, cold, warm, you understand. Companies that know how to do it, and people that don't agree and maybe want to break off and start another firm, then that's fine. And there you go. That's why we are going to need more immigrants, and we need the energy infrastructure upgraded, as well as other infrastructure upgraded. Need more people do that, as well as people that may not have a job, or people that want a better job. There you go. There's jobs for you. And that, and the previous thing with the housing, there's going to be a lot of low-paying, brute force jobs that we're not going to be able to fill right now. And those immigrants, they'll take those jobs. The hauling roofing garbage away, hauling stuff up there, they'll do all that, and be a lot of that. There's that. Another thing is, especially with the hurricanes and the fires in California now, there's going to be a lot of even more construction jobs available too. So that's that. Also, I think that as a nation, the federal government can give some funds out for environmental reclamation to the states, various states, and those states can decide how to allocate it. Those are jobs for people. I'm sure local communities would know how to spend that, and those are jobs. One of the things I may have talked about it in another video was the mountaintop mining thing. Lots of local communities were impacted by that. But pick and choose. Everybody knows some kind of environmental degradation project that you can get some money for, and you can go and fix it, and it's a local community, and that by definition is a local job. So you just fix your local environment, and it's very well suited for small towns that have been impacted by mining, over foresting, forest lumbering, whatever. So that could help small towns too. Um, so again, all that job stuff, which I'm not interested, but I'm sure a lot of people would like. Um, you know, and yeah, the education system. I'm sure there's a lot of ways to help that out with. They're doing a lot of online stuff. I personally have said it that the privatization, there should be less private schools and stuff, but whatever, we can go a whole lot of different ways with education reform. Um, my thing recently is another thing that should be added is there's a train coming through here now. Should be able to hear it. There are trains that go by every night. Cargo trains. I assume they're cargo trains because we're in the United States. But the education thing, I think what we should do is kind of attacks multiple problems. I think what we should do for the education thing is what we could do is turn the military into a semi non-voluntary military and just allow everyone to join the military and get a college degree while they're in the military. You know, obviously you wouldn't get a liberal arts degree. It would be something that is more, it would usually, it basically be STEM focused. Um, or, maybe a law degree or something like that. If it's liberal arts, it would be something that is more classically useful, but you would be getting a military education as well as something that would be very definitively useful after you're done with your military service. And that would be some way that post high school you can get essentially a free education and we could have a much larger military and more people that are in the military. I mean, it would be a good thing. More people that are in the military, more people know that my experience is that the ones that I've talked to personally that have served, it isn't what it has been made out to be by politicians and stuff. It's very unrosy. So, yeah, it's not glory, is what it is. You come back and you're It's just not something to be taken lightly. Not going out there and playing a video game. So more people in there, and many more people would be much more. The nation as a whole would be more sensitive to not going out and killing people, and the nation as a whole would be more sensitive to how military aid is given to countries that would use the military aid in certain ways also. So, yeah, that would be helpful. And on that military point, I think, the country should help Ukraine push out Russia, end that war decisively and quickly by however it needs to, because Russia invaded. I mean, they're the aggressor. It seems fairly obvious to me they're the aggressor. So that's. I mean, I don't know that there's much else to say about that. They're the aggressor, and they were the aggressor in Georgia and in Crimea, and just whatever. So why? I mean, it's just they need to be stopped. So just give them whatever they need, and then also, since we're doing that, we might as well just, I don't know, build a whole lot of new military weapons too. I mean, that's gonna make more jobs, doesn't it? Don't all of you want jobs too? I mean, that's probably one thing that senators will vote for, right? The senators that have military, I don't know, contractors in their states, they'll vote for that, whatever, who cares? I just think, empty all our stockpiles of old ammunition and blah, blah, and then we can build the new stuff. It's a win-win. Kick out the bad guys and we get some new weapons and stuff. So I don't see how that's not a good thing to do. And then there's also the healthcare thing. I don't really see a difficult choice there. It should be nationalized, single payer. I mean, if you want private health insurance, you can get a supplement for it, and that would probably cover things for like future elective, non-medically necessary elective operations, which would include, but not be limited to, things like cosmetic plastic surgery, something like that. Just things that are not medically necessary. Like that would be the space for private medical insurance. So private medical insurance doesn't need to not exist. It just state medical coverage would cover everything that's medically necessary. And I would argue put the provision in there to cover future future medically necessary things like if it ever becomes technically feasible, things like, you know, regenerative and rejuvenatory health procedures, like things that make you younger, rejuvenate your body, your skin, your organs, that sort of thing. You know, because the younger your organs and cells are, it'll prevent you from getting cancer. And treating cancer is more expensive than preventing cancer. So, you know, it's just, you know, it's better to prevent than to treat. So that is another thing there. Yeah. What else? I don't know, some other random stuff. It would be nice if we didn't have we didn't have this two-party system, you know. More choice to vote on. I said that in another video. You had to, everywhere you voted, you had to write in the candidate. That would be a good inherent poll test. Where no candidate could actually be on the ballot, where you just had to write in / type in, you know, on the keyboard, just type in the name or write it in, whichever you decide. Then you know, it's like, okay, there you go. Because it's basically like, well, you know, if you can't spell a person's name properly, well, that's too bad. You know, figure out who you want to vote for and go in there with a piece of paper with their name spelled correctly and fucking hold on to it and be like, TRUMP. Well, you said Trump, not Trump. TRUMP. Sorry, you fucked it up. You should have looked at it after you typed it in. Sorry, fucker. Your vote doesn't fucking count. Hey, you could have spent an extra 2 seconds to look at what you fucking typed in. I mean, you came all the way down there. It just takes another glance just to look at it. You know, I know you exist with autocorrect your entire life, but there is something called, you know, fucking use your eyes and fucking look at it. I get annoyed by all these people fucking with these little goddamn spelling errors and shit. Just fucking look at it. Ugh. I don't know. Mr. Perseverance. It's perseverance. And it's nuclear, not nuclear. Nuclear. Perseverance. There's no R there. Of course, now the dictionaries and Google and all this stuff, now they do have to say perseverance, because enough people have been fucking it up for long enough that it's entered the lexicon. Because enough people have fucked up the goddamn word enough times for long enough that it's like become a mutated extra word for the real word. Ugh, whatever. A little bit of a tangent there. Okay. I don't know. There's some other things. That's an example how some of those policies kind of feed into each other with immigrants and then jobs. Immigrants take the jobs, and because we need more people to do the things that we would have. So that's why no immigrants bad. We need immigrants for the jobs. It's like when we were building the railroads, we were like, yeah, Chinese. We need more Chinese. Whatever. I know that sounds a little racist, but it's true. Building the railroad, it was built by thousands of fucking Chinese people. So. And when we're done with all the improvements, then we can send all the Mexicans up to Nebraska and the Dakotas, and they can build Mexican town. Yeah. How do you like that, Nebraska and Dakotas? No more Whiteyvilles. Just 3 cities of 4 million Latinos right there. Yeah. Sounds good, doesn't it? Now your states will be brown instead of white. And by white, I mean both in people color and in snow color. And I'm sure there was other things I was talking about, but I was thinking about adding. There's other creative things that feed into that you can add in that solve other things that I have in there, but I forget. I have it written down somewhere, but I don't feel like looking at it because no one cares, and everybody's like too entrenched in their personal philosophies and stuff to give a shit. Or like they just don't want immigrants, and they just don't want X, or they just don't want Y. They just don't want communist healthcare, for instance. Which, whatever. Personally, all I want is shit to be fixed. That's all I want. I just want shit to work and have a good society where everybody gets what they need. And yeah, sounds like we could do it if we wanted to, but we don't. And all the people that say they care about people are actually people who just don't want some people to have shit. Because Jesus said so. All right. Well, that's close enough. I wasted a half hour. Now I got to find something else to do. Maybe I will shave myself. Look at that. I hate doing things I gotta do over and over again, like cooking, cleaning, shaving, bathing. I don't mind sleeping. I do mind trying to get to sleep, though. The act of sleeping is great because you're just unconscious. And what can be better than that? It's like you're just letting time zip by, and then it's like, ugh, man, I'm up again. Why am I awake again? And the shitty world is here again. And it's like, ugh, man, this is still here. Can't something better be here when I wake up? That's why I want to go into like a pod and like wake up like 10 years later and be like, damn, it's not better yet. Set the thing for 10 years, go under for another 10 years and see if shit has changed for the better yet. Oh, well, that's it. That's it for this vid. Final thoughts, like Jerry Springer. None. I got no final thoughts. Oops.